All right, so before we begin, be sure to go show OP Grinder some love over here on YouTube. He does some pretty fantastic videos overall. So this is his channel. Lots of good content over here, so be sure to check that out. And we'll go ahead and dive in. What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and I am joined with Elijah Quinby, a.k.a. OP Grinder, the legend himself. He went... you got top 16 day one into top 32, lost out the first round, unfortunately, but we got him here on Lucci, switching it up from the Doflamingo you guys might know and love. So do you remember what your matchups were for yesterday and today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I expected a wide field, which actually, shockingly, my matchups were not as wide as I expected. But I just wanted to dodge teach, and I dodge teach, spoiler alert.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. Round one, I played versus a red-green smoker. He won die roll, and he saw Tashigi smoker on 5, which is always a little scary, but I was able to double clear. So then I just won. Round 2 was Lucci. I won the die roll and chose to go second. And I did the thing in the mirror that just auto wins you. I'll explain later. 3 and 4, I played back-to-back Zoros, which was really surprising, but that's a pretty good matchup for me, so I was pretty thrilled. Round 5, I played my first Shanks, which I was a little surprised to take so long to play Shanks, because I thought that deck would be by far the most popular deck, both because it's really strong, but it's also very approachable. So when a lot of people are changing decks and the meta is very dynamic, Shanks is just a very solid 50-50 deck that you can pick up pretty quickly. So I expected a lot of Shanks. I would love to know the breakdown of the room, how many Shanks there actually were.
I'm sure it's 20%.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
It's so high. The conversion's so low though, because like everybody wants to play Shanks. Nobody knows how to play Shanks.
Yeah,
and it stays true.
Because even though it is really easily approachable, you still have to, like, there's still a lot of skill expression in your decision making with like the swings, where you're swinging.
The micro decisions is the biggest part. Like you can get punished 4 turns later because you gave up 1 card. It's like, if I had that card, I win. Like I've been there one too many times, unfortunately. But yeah, every decision you make matters. But like the deck itself is strong, but like so many decisions are gonna change your game.
Yeah, I actually think like almost regardless of how good Shanks actually is, like, its conversion rate looks really bad right now. And most people, they look at conversion rate and they're like, oh, that means if a deck is good or not. Like Dofi last format, every single tournament overperformed in the conversion rate. But I think Shanks is the type of deck where, because it's so accessible, there's so many people who try to play it even though they shouldn't.
It is very affordable too, so like, it's very accessible.
Besides the Rayleighs, right?
Yeah.
Besides the Rayleighs.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, the deck will always attract like a certain type of player that those maybe aren't necessarily the best players. And I think a lot of the best players are not as attracted to Shanks. Like I know myself, Holden feels the same way. I don't know if he has the exact same feeling, but I know that unless Shanks was like very, very clearly the best deck, I wouldn't want to play it, because I would if it's clearly the best deck. Which I think it's up there, but it's not like so definitive. And the reason for that being, like, I personally don't feel like there's enough agency in the deck.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there's always room to outplay. There's, as we mentioned, there's a lot of micro decisions and things, but like think about like the finals at Worlds, bro. That dude draws 16 cards and 14 of them were 2Ks. Or like the exact opposite happens. And every time I play Shanks, like stuff like that just happens. So I feel like there's not enough agency. So.
Sure.
I think a lot of really great players feel that way, and so this isn't a Shanks profile, but you have to talk about it. Like,
it's for sure.
So round 6, I played versus Chris Pack. Great dude. That was my first time meeting him. That was actually super awesome, super nice.
Chris.
I was glazing him like the entire time we were playing. Eventually, he was like, "Bro, you gotta stop. You gotta stop." Because I was just like, "Bro, you're gonna beat me. Like I'm cooked. It's whatever." I got it though. Also, I don't think I talked about it. I won all 5 of those. I started 7-0. Also, I think the only die roll I won was round 2 the entire weekend. I lost every other die roll. But the great thing about my list is it's very turn agnostic. So unless it's like exactly the mirror, or I think the mirror is maybe one of the only things I super care about. Or like obviously like the decks that like have to do something, right? Like Poofy has to go first, Glim has to go first. Obviously it's important to win die rolls versus die roll decks. But like versus the other turn agnostic decks, like Shanks, maybe even like Zoro or Dofi, like those other turn agnostic decks, I think the die roll actually doesn't matter. You should be favored regardless. So shout outs to Chris Back. Great dude. It was great playing.
Yeah, I love Chris Back.
Yeah, he was hella cool, bro. He was hella good. Round 7, I played another Shanks, Justin. He was another former Yu-Gi-Oh player. Shout out to him. We had a great game. I just put him in Infinite Tsukiyomi, which is what I was doing all weekend, and he got goobed. Like, I probably could have ended the game like 5 turns later, but like when I have like a full board of things that like always deal with your stuff and there's just nothing you can do, and I have like blockers, like there's no reason for me to end the game. I can just take a couple cards out of your hand every turn. Round 8 was on stream versus Hassan. Shout out to Hassan. He played phenomenal. He beat me. I don't think there was anything I could do. Honestly, I lost on the 8th on turn. If that wasn't on stream, low key for most of that match, I just wanted to concede. Like, I have had a lot of people reach out to me and be like, "Oh, that was so close." I knew the game was over on 8. Like, I missed the Brook early. He was playing it like super smart. I'll definitely be reviewing it on my channel. But once he got rid of the Jack, and my hand at one point I had quad Uta in there, like I was cooked.
Yeah.
Round 9 was crazy. This was actually a fan of the channel. Shout outs to Tyler. This was my second loss. What happened actually was I had the pure nuts, and over the 2 days going into that, I waitlisted in the tournament. So I got here at 6 a.m. Tournament started at like noon. Over the 2 days, I got a collective of 6 hours of sleep, and also I like fasting while I play. And then also, Jacoby can speak on this. It was 1,000 degrees in that room. It was so hot.
It's crazy. I got here way early. It was very cold. Then once everybody got in there, it got really hot.
It got so hot by the end of the day. Literally what happened was I have the stone cold nuts. Like, actually, truly, I think it would have been an unlosable game. But on my 8th on turn, I paused. I'm like just blanked out, staring. And he's like, "Bro, are you good?" Like, I was doing it for like a minute plus, 2 minutes. And I was like, "Bro, I think I'm going to pass out." And I just conceded and left. So that was my second loss with Bruce Shanks. Shout out to Tyler. I apologize to him that I couldn't give him like a real game, but it is what it is. And then round 10, I played versus Zoro. At this point, I still felt like really unwell. Like, I went outside, I hydrated a bunch. I even like had a banana, which normally I don't like to eat during tournaments, but like I literally was like about to pass out. And I was still a little out of it, but I was able to win. Really, I don't even think I was playing that well. I was still kind of out of it, but what happened was there's one turn, I think I have 4 life. He plays the Rush Luffy. He has the goods chopper on board, because he starts crazy. He goes like chopper, good chopper, spell into good chopper, play another good chopper. Like, he starts crazy. And I'm not playing like as perfect, because again, I'm still a little out of it. And what he does is he goes, and I've kind of already accepted like, I'm probably like not gonna top. I was really hoping that the pair down lost round 9, because I just like I was like, I don't know if I can play another one, but obviously like I have to at least try. But he plays the good Luffy with the good chopper on board, and before swinging the chopper, he swings the good Luffy. He doesn't have to. Like, the reason he's doing it is because he wants to attach to the Zoro, but like he had the extra Dawn to just attach to the Zoro anyways and swing the chopper first. He swings the good Luffy. I don't have to take there. Like, I have the counter, and I think it's reasonable for me to counter there, but I literally think to myself, bro, this is a crazy misplay. Bro deserves to get punished. So I take anyways. Who's who? Boom. And then from there, I was tapped back in. I was like, all right, I'm winning this. I'm winning this. If I can still manifest the who's who right there, I'm winning this. So that was crazy. Nice guy. He got sacked right there. Obviously, we take those. What can I say? Yeah. So yeah, that was my Swiss 10, and then top cut. I played versus Sam, also known as like 7. I think is his I think it's 7. That was honestly a phenomenal match. He was on Dofi. He's a phenomenal player, like stand-up dude. Like, honestly, it was great. Game 1 was just kind of unwinnable for me. Like, I didn't see like my Brooks or like the type of things that I needed, and he played like really good. Like, versus a bad player, I'm sure it would be winnable, but like he's better than I am, so like obviously like he's not gonna throw that. And then game 2 was like the exact reverse for him, where like I think he saw like decent enough cards, but I just saw everything I needed, and so he just got like infinite Tsukiyomi and blew up. And then game 3, I think we only had like maybe 16 minutes or something for game 3, including overtime. So I was just like really stressed. I haven't actually been in that sort of situation before. I should have conceded game 1 sooner, probably, like maybe like 5 minutes sooner. But I thought like it was still possible if he was out of gas. But yeah, so I was stressed. I played not that good. He played better than me, like, so he won. Like, he absolutely deserves a phenomenal player. But that was my matchups, yeah.
Cool. Let's go ahead and dive into the deck. Take a look at what we're working with.
Yeah, absolutely. First, a few shout-outs. Shout-outs to Victor Pham for encouraging me to play this deck. Shout-outs to Victory Road for sponsoring me to come here. I wouldn't have come here without him. Shout-outs to all the people who helped me test. Jerome, you guys all know who you are. Drago, the GOATs, you know who it is. Shout-outs to Holden for making like 95% of the deck. Shout-outs to my girlfriend, Abby, the GOAT. Love her more than anything. Yeah, and just so you guys know, Lucci is the best deck. This 50 was the best 50 in the room. No question. Absolutely. Queuing into this tournament. I lost because of skill diff, because I learned this deck 3 days ago, and because, yeah, I learned it 3 days ago, and Sammy's better than me, but like, one loss in Swiss was like, I literally was about to pass out. The other one was like unwinnable. There's always going to be one unwinnable, but this was the best deck. This deck is crazy. It's absolutely bonkers, I promise you. So we'll go over also shout out CJ for giving me the blinged out deck, bro. None of these are mine. Fans of the channel know I'm a min rarity warrior, but if someone's going to give me a high rarity deck, I'm going to play it. So these are like the cards that I think everyone plays. Like, obviously you have to play for Rebecca, you have to play for Brooke, you have to play 4 Tempest Kick, you have to play 4 Lucci. Some people change the number of Hinas, but everyone plays some number. I think 3 is probably where most people land. I think 3 is the right number. And then the 2Ks is like another thing that people kind of change. Like, maybe some people play 8, some people play 10. Maybe they change the different 2Ks. These are the 2Ks I ran because they're CPs. So they're targets for Spandine. Also, I play Who's Who instead of Kaku. Because this deck has infinite reduction, but not that much removal. So this coming up, literally just as a removal piece, came up a bunch. Also, the trigger came up, I mean, I played 3 Zoros, so I think it came up, honestly, maybe twice. One time I KO'd a 1-drop, it was kind of funny. But yeah, so these are like the less interesting things. I don't know, Jacoby, do you think there's anything that's like too notable to speak about?
No, I think the most interesting thing was the Who's Who, right? Because I saw that and I was like, oh, it's like interesting, but I guess it makes sense, especially with like a lot of Zoro, and just you never really know what people are on. And you know, you mentioned you pop a 1-drop, which can come up because like that 1-drop can swing for lethal depending where you're at. So exactly. You know, no, absolutely no. I think that's pretty. I mean, at the end of the day, Lucci core is Lucci core. Like, a lot of the only thing that's gone is like Ice Age, and we add in Hina, and then like 2Ks to some degree, and they've always made their way through whatever. So no, I think absolutely pretty basic stuff there.
Yeah, to be honest, Who's Who was the more important 2K than Khalifa. Like, everyone thinks that Khalifa is the most important 2K, and I agree, she's like objectively the best one in a lot of ways, but for this specific list, like, you have so much reduction, you're never playing this. Like, you're never playing this on 4. I promise you, in this list, you are never playing this on 4.
Khalifa was always the worst 4 curve play too. Like,
it was. But like, there were times where you could do it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But in this list, that's never going to come up, whereas this, like, actually popping something can come up.
And then the spice. Let's see it. There's some juice in here.
Yeah. So these are the cards that not everyone runs. So first of all, we have 2 Spandine. Like, some people run like Navy or whatever, or maybe they even think that this like isn't as good anymore, so maybe they play 1, which I understand. I think this card is just really flexible, and like, there's no real cost to playing 2. I think there's the space, and like, when you actually get to resolve this off of your Rebecca, it's pretty nuts. Even hard casting it can be really good. So I was really happy with 2, honestly. I could see like worlds where you could cut down to 1. There were a lot of Lucci lists that I tried where like this card didn't feel like it came up as much. And I tried 1, but then next is the best card in the deck. All right, I'm gonna talk about this card for maybe 30 minutes. Yeah. Shout outs to Fraud Cross AI, bro. Gaslighting the community into saying that Kuzan is bad. Made a whole video about how Kuzan is bad. I promise you, This is the third best card in the entire deck after the, where's the Brook? I don't know. After the Rebecca and the Brook. This is the third best card in the deck. This card, you put it on the table and your opponent's brain breaks. There's not removal in the game as much as there was before. Like, this was obviously like super dead versus like Doflamingo and Top Cut. And there will be matchups where it's not that good, but the field is so open, and it's not only on 4. Historically, everyone thinks you can only play Kuzan on 4, but in this deck, I only run 3 high-cost characters, which means every turn I have a lot of Dawn, and this deck does a lot of setting up for future turns while also dealing with the current turns. Because what happens is your opponent's board, like, okay, so I'm just going to put them all out, okay? We're going to have the Utas, and we're going to have the Laboons, okay? So we have these 12, which these 12 cards in conjunction are broken. I think everyone has tried some number of these cards. Like there's people that I worked with where like, I think what they did was they ran like 3 and 2, like, and then none of these. And then like, I think a lot of people try stuff like this where they run like some number of these cards, but not the max amount. And what happens when you do that is you see them sometimes, and like sometimes they're good, but what's really messed up, Jacoby, what do you do when your opponent sees all of these, bro, and their board is Kuzan, Laboon, Uta, Brook, Rebecca, bro? You get into this game state every game, what does your opponent do? They're playing one thing a turn, you're committing no Dawn to get rid of it. They're playing one thing, maybe they can like swing over one thing, maybe they can like get rid of one thing, right? And now it's like, oh, cool, this is my board, bro. You lose. You lose. And you get to, when you play 12 of these, this is why this is best deck. Because when you play 12 of these cards, what happens is your opponent's brain breaks. They're like, I can't play the game. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to like, maybe I'll just like try to rush him down, or maybe what happens, like we'll talk about Jack in a little bit, but maybe like, you have that setup, but you have a Jack, and they're like, I have to get rid of the Jack. And they like use all of their resources to get rid of a Jack. Maybe they like Divine Departure it or whatever. And then what you do is you go, oh, you didn't want to play the game last turn? Maybe because you're worried I was going to remove it. Or maybe you spent all your resources just getting rid of these cards. You didn't even play the game. You just tried to get rid of my resources. As soon as they do that, double Kuzan. And then they lose on the spot. They lose on the... I cannot tell you how many times I have the Tsukiyomi board and my opponent's brain breaks, they stop playing the game, and then I just go, okay, Rebecca, Kuzan, swing a few times, go ahead. And I still just have a crazy board where it's like, you wasted a whole turn, and I played a card, that got me a card, that got me a card, and I still have a crazy setup. So Kuzan is the nuts. Like, actually, I played him, like I was counting at one point, like over the first 7 rounds, I think I played Kuzan like literally like 20 times. Like literally like 20 times.
The last time we had talked mid-dinner, I mean, you're like, I've played Kuzan 15 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, I believe, like, I played Lucci at one point, and I also played the bait Luffy, the Italian Luffy. And like, if I just got double Kuzan, like I just wasn't losing. Like, it was like, I'm like, I can literally remove anything. Like anything you play is gone, and you have to remove these, and then you don't establish anything. Like it's one or the other.
Yeah.
And it's
exactly.
It's especially when your opponent starts running out of gas, and you're just like, oh, double Kuzan. You're like, draw 2 cards. I lost no value, and then I have 2 swingers, and I can
that you have to deal with.
Yes, you have to deal with it.
You have to deal with it. And the thing is, decks cannot deal with it right now. Like, they cannot deal with it. So, like, it's so broken. Like, all of these cards in conjunction, you just put your opponent in a lose-lose situation. They spend all their resources trying to get through the board, and you're like, okay, I'll just play more of them. Sure.
And to your point, you're saying 4-4-4-4. That was the big approach that I took too, because like in a jungle format, you want one thing, you want consistency, you want to see it. Like when you go all mixed ratio, sometimes it works, yes, and it absolutely, like gives you a better spread. But like if you just see your things and do your things, you're saying you're infinite Tsukiyomi people, that's the one thing you want to do.
Yeah.
Like I want to, like Shanks, I want to curve out, I want to play this, I need to make sure I'm hitting every single one. That's what I'm going to do, and as long as I do that, I'm okay. And then like if my opponent outskills me, it is what it is. But like as long as I can do my thing, that's what matters. And like that's your main goal. Can I do my thing? And that's your whole ambition. And you're just out here like, yeah, you want to see all your pieces, especially right now. Like I think just consistency is huge.
Yeah, and versus like every deck, if you get to do your thing, which this deck honestly feels so Omega consistent. It feels crazy consistent. The only things that the only concerns with consistency is like, are you gonna see these two cards? Like everything else, it feels like you see every time, and like you will eventually get to Rebecca, you will eventually get to Brooke, but these are cards that like sometimes it's like more important you find them in like very specific things, where like a bunch of other cards in the deck are very interchangeable, and also these are like the best two cards, so like of course you want to find them. But yeah, like these are all crazy. You max out on them because it just puts your opponent in just an impossible situation. This card is so broken. Do not listen to anyone who says that this card is not broken. Yeah, like for sure, these 12 cards are honestly why the deck is so broken. Like I actually wasn't originally playing Lucci. I picked it up 72 hours before the event because I was just trying to find background footage, and I just found like a replay of Holden playing a list with these 12 cards, and I was like, okay, I'll just like play this random list. Like it's probably not that good. Like it's kind of weird. I'll just play it, and like that will be the background footage for the video. And then I started playing it, and I was like, I cannot lose. Like this is so broken. You just go like Uta, Kuzan, any card in your deck, and then you just start winning the game. And your opponents, they're just cooked. I will say, Teach is unwinnable. Teach is unwinnable. And then a few more cards that also not necessarily everyone plays. Like everyone plays at least one Sabo. The list originally that I took from Holden, I think was like 2-1, and I believe Holden actually ended up playing 2-2, because Holden and I, we worked a lot together. Shout out to Holden. He's like one of the biggest reasons I topped 100,000%. He's the GOAT. He built the list. He was better at the list than me, but he got unlucky. I got lucky, so what can you do?
Oh, yeah, he got like 38 then.
Yeah, he got 38. He bubbled out. But I will say, I genuinely believe my list is better than his, 100%. And I'll explain the differences. That's the next set of cards. But 2-1, a lot of people love Mancherry.
That card was goated back in the day.
Yeah, like it's really, really good. And people say like it's your 6th Rebecca. But like the thing is, it costs 6 Dawn, so you're typically not doing it till your 10 Dawn turn. And honestly, Sabo's just the GOAT, bro. Sabo's just the GOAT, especially because you get into so many situations where it's like you just have like maybe like these on board, and your opponent is like given up. They've just given up, and so you're just like,
the Uda's nasty because Uda cannot be destroyed by a leader swing. You have to have a character to answer it, so you can establish it on 2, and then like there's literally nothing anyone can do about it.
And I will say this is like probably some value that will be lost in the following weeks, but because this card hasn't really seen much play, I think anyone who played this weekend with this card in their deck, because I know it came up for Holden too. He's a better man than I, so he let the opponent take it back. I did not, but my opponent swings 6 at it. So like what happens is I like play the card, he goes like, what does that do? And I say like, oh, it has like an activate main, like you can read it. He picks it up, he reads it, he puts it back. I rest it, I do the thing, and then the next turn he goes 6 at it, and I go 6 at Uta, and he goes, yeah, 6 at Uta, and I go, okay, that's good to resolve. And then it was actually really awkward. We stared at each other for 45 seconds because I don't think he understood what was happening. And then shout outs to Infernity. Infernity interjected and he was like, it can't be swung over by leader, because me and my opponent were just staring at each other for like 45 seconds. Holden had the exact same thing come up to him, but he's a better man than I, so he let the opponent take back. Coming from a Yu-Gi-Oh background, my perspective is like, hey, we're in a high level tournament situation. Like, you read the card, like if you make that mistake, that's a skill gap, like that's your fault, to be honest. And I actually had the exact reverse happen to me round 1. I swung 7 at a smoker in smoker, and he went, yeah, that's good. I was like, oh shit, it's an 8.
Yeah, I've made a smoker mistake here.
Yeah. I don't actually think I've ever tested versus smoker IRL. It's always been sim, and so like sim, like it tells you, right? So it's like
it's just plus 1,000.
Yeah, it's plus 1,000. But so
okay.
I think Uta got like a small bit of value this weekend because one time over the course of a tournament, it's gonna become like a 1K for no reason. So those are like some of the cards that like I think are like less standard, but I think are all really good. I really do value the 2 Sabo over the 2 Manshare. I just think Sabo is really, really, really good. And like I played 2 mirrors and he was crazy in those, and like just being able to filter, like there's actually a lot of game states where honest to goodness I'd rather have Sabo than Rebecca, because it's like Sabo, they can never get rid of it no matter what, and he filters you. And if you get to a game state where like you have like all this shit, like your opponent's only chance is to kill you, and the only way they can kill you is if you're bricked up. So Sabo saying like I'm not bricked up, homie, is actually huge. And then lastly, these are the cards that me and Holden differed on. He ran a second Manshare. I played 3 jacks. Shout out to Cody Angeloff for letting me borrow the championship jacks. He also bubbled out. There were so many phenomenal players who bubbled out. I was like,
impact, dude. 30.
Yeah.
I literally, I was scrolling down. I was like 31, 32. Then I was like, and I just fell to my knees.
Yeah, it's so tragic, bro. There are actually so many great players bubbled out, which I feel for them. You know, especially like several of them I'm homies with. But like obviously Holden, Impact, Cody, everyone. You guys all know who the phenomenal players are. But I was like, yo, that just means less great players that I have to beat. But yeah, I still lost top 32, so it didn't matter. So these are the 6 cards. So originally this list had, or what Holden played. He played 3 Kaido, and he played 2 5-cost Tashigi, and he played the last Manshare, okay? And that was actually my deck list until 3 a.m., 3 hours before I got to the venue. Because I was waitlisted in, I didn't have to submit a deck list. And I tested that list literally the whole day. Like all the people I Airbnb'd with, I woke up at 9 a.m. before everyone else. I went to the living room. I played Sim until everyone else woke up. And then I actually just played games for like 13 hours straight. And I was playing that list, Holden's list, for like 13 hours. And at the end of the day, I go to bed. I text Holden, yeah, I'm submitting the list. It felt really good. And then I wake up in the middle of the night because like the house is, there's a lot of people in there. It's a little rowdy, whatever. And I woke up and I just thought about it. And me and Holden tested this list together. Like we duo queued ranked like a day before, which honestly I think is something that no one ever really does. But I actually think, and honestly it's something I've very rarely done, but I actually think is a really great strat for testing. You and someone else who is working with you on a deck, if you two just 2v1 on ranked in a Discord call, I actually think it's a really great way to like, especially in decks that have a ton of lines, because you guys get to like dissect and like you get to see different perspectives, and it's really great. I mean, he was just literally coaching me, but it's funny because he said I was coaching him. It was funny because I was a believer in Jack and he wasn't as much of a believer in Jack, because like a lot of Lucci lists that I've tried, people don't like Jack. People think Jack is not good, and the reason for that is because like the turns go like let's say you go first, right? On four, they play like a 4, right? You're gonna remove it on 5, and then on 6, they're gonna play a 5, and then the Jack can't remove it. So it feels really bad to play it on 7 in most Lucci lists. But when you play 16 cards, like all of these cards can all be setup reduction. Because if you have any of these on board before you play the Jack, then the 6 drop or the 5 drop that they play on 6, you can remove. And no one plays 6 drop, so it's always a 5 drop, so Brook works too. Honestly, you can say it's 20. Because if you can Rebecca into Brook and then you just protect the Brook, it's like same thing, right? So really you have like pseudo 20 cards that can set up for the Jack. And the thing is like, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was like, I'm gonna play this because Kaido to me doesn't feel that good. But Jack, like, bro, Jack is like the thing where when you put them in the Infinite Tsukiyomi, like they should pack it up, bro. They never pack it up, obviously. And the game goes like probably like 6 more turns. But like once you get in this game state, it's over. Like, it's literally over versus like every deck in the meta right now. So Jack just like really lets you do that. And then so like these last two spots, so I went with this. Holden played the Kaidos and the Tashigis, and I do actually like the Tashigi, because what the Tashigi does is not just for Blackbeard, it's a KO outlet, which if you like look at the deck list, there's like not really KO outlets. Like there's actually just like the Brook and the Lucci, and if you miss those in the early game, it's bad, because like the 6-Dawn turn or the 5-Dawn turn, you have to have a removal piece. Otherwise, the game starts to spiral because they stick something. So like the Tashigi is nice because you have so much reduction that like it doesn't matter if there's 0 cost. Like it doesn't matter that Tashigi only KOs a 0, like, and everything else KOs like a 1 or a 2. Because this deck has infinite removal. Normally, if you really want to, bro, you can get a monster on board to like -4 cost. Like you actually just play so much. So like the Tashigi was just like another removal outlet, and also what it dealt with was Lucky Roo and like Marco versus Shanks. So I did actually like the Tashigi, but I didn't want to like not run the Kaidos and then run the Tashigis, because I felt like a big reason why you run Kaido is just for Blackbeard, and a big part of the reason why you run Tashigi is for Blackbeard to be honest, have a 20% win rate. You have to, versus a good Blackbeard player, you have to have so much luck on your side, like you have to see the Tashigi to remove the Burgess, and then you have to Kaido, and then honestly you might even need a third Kaido, and like they're just going to be way more consistent, because there's a lot of people out there who say it's 60-40. I want you to explain to me, Jacoby, explain this to me. How is a matchup 60-40 if I play a vanilla 4-6 and you play a vanilla 4-12?
Dude, I can go on and on about the 4. Dude, the fact that Burgess has counter and he's a 4-drop 12k, like you play 2 Burgess and you present lethal. Like literally, because 12-12-15 kills almost anybody. Like if you have 2 life and they play just 2 Burgess, swing 7 at your face, you have to give them 2 cards, because those 2 Burgess are gonna beat your breaks off. Like no, I hate like that card. Like, and it has counter and it has 1k, and you play 8 of them now. Like no, yeah, the Burgess is just nuts.
No, it's so nuts. Like you are not winning that matchup, honestly. Even if you're teched with these 5 versus a good Blackbeard, I promise you it's 80-20.
5 cards ain't enough.
I promise you it's 80-20. Like, you have to have so much go right for you. There's such a consistent deck. Like, anyone who thinks it's 60-40 is actually just farming bad Blackbeard players. Like, Blackbeard players who are, like, finger pistoling for no reason. I'm going to give you guys a tip. If you play versus Lucci, honestly, if you play versus almost anything, all you have to do on Blackbeard is play Burgess, bro. Just play Burgess, Kuzan into Burgess. That card is so ignorant. That's all you have to do most of the time to win games, because your opponent is playing vanillas and you're playing vanillas, but your vanillas are 4-12s and their vanillas are 4-6s. And you can remove their cards, but they can't remove yours. So I just decided, like, if I queue into Teach, I'll just accept the loss. Like, I think this is a meta where no matter what you play, you are conceding something. So I decided to play this deck because I feel like if I play versus anything besides exactly Teach, I feel like I'm really favored, almost regardless of die roll versus everything too. So it just felt weird to have the Tashigis if I wasn't already playing the Kaidos. So I said, you know what, I'll put in 2 finger pistols. And honestly, this card came in clutch. I triggered it a couple times. The trigger obviously is like disgusting. It's just this trigger is like one of the most broken ones in the game. Like, it builds your trash while removing one of their things. Like, it's uber giga broken. Also, even outside of that, like the way that I outed round 1, like this card won me round 1, because what happened was he goes first, the smoker. He goes like 1 Dawn Virgo, 3 Dawn, the Sanji. I'm like, cool, whatever. I go 2 Uta, 4 I think Kuzan. I think I went 4 Kuzan. Or no, I went 4 Brook, and I KO'd the 3-drop, the Sanji. And then on 5 he goes Tashigi plus Smoker, and I go Uta, Brook, pop the Tashigi, finger gun, KO the smoker, and then the game is just over. And this was the only card with 6 Dawn that could have done that besides, I guess, Brook. But honestly, I'm just not a huge fan of Brook at the moment. Like, I think it's good, but like the thing that's really good about Brook is that like it deals with a 4-drop on curve, but like you play so much setup in that list that if you have any KO, you're gonna remove the 6, bro. Like you're gonna have either the Uta, the Laboon, or the Kuzan. So like removing the 5 on 6 is not a problem with this deck anyways. So then like what is really the purpose of this card? Whereas like this card instead of the Brook has like more applications. Like you can play this way later in the game because like if you just have like a Kuzan on board, like this removes a 10. And the trigger is crazy. So I like this. This card was like super good for me all weekend. And then the last spot was Kobe.
Kobe.
Kobe. I think this card honestly is like not that good. I didn't actually play it at all this weekend. This card is not in the deck list because I won it in the deck list. The reason that this card is in the deck list is because this deck plays so little removal that this is just like another KO card that I can mill for Rebecca for that 6 Dawn turn. Because you're always, literally always, you're gonna have the setup. You're gonna have the infinite Tsukiyomi. The only thing that can go wrong is if on that 5 or 6 Dawn turn, you haven't found a removal piece. So I like Kobe, even though he's not that good, because he's the other thing that I can mill to pair with Rebecca. So by just adding 1 extra card, it's both something that I can physically draw to make that thing happen 1 less time, or I can mill it and then Rebecca can get there. So like, I never wanted to play this. I saw it a few times and I just countered it. Like, that's fine. Like, I'm not upset that I used it as counter. Like, and I milled it a bunch and I never had to play it. So it's literally just an emergency button. You don't have to play it, but without it, I think you're gonna have 1 out of maybe like 10 games is my feeling. Maybe even less than that. Maybe like 1 out of 15 games where like you don't see the removal on that turn, and then you're just kind of goobed. So I just like it so that way that happens less. But I think that's everything I want to say. Did you have any questions, Jacoby? Anything?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think the biggest thing, so like it seems because you have the 2 and the 4 curve and then like the 6, do you prefer to go first or second overall into your matchups?
It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter because like the thing is you can kind of do that exact same curve on odd anyways. Like there's nothing that says you can't go like Brook Kuzan or even Uta Kuzan. Like when they play a 4-drop, it doesn't matter that much that you're not removing it. First of all, because there's like no good 4-drops in the game besides like exactly Lucky Roo and Kuzan, and like the Lucky Roo you're not even that interested in removing that turn anyways. Like ideally you want to remove it later after you've played a Sabo, which is another part of the reason why I think
I've had that happen.
Yeah.
I always feel so bad when they're like Sabo, KO your Lucky Roo. I'm like,
yeah, and that's actually the setup I should have had in my round 9. Like in my round 9, I should have been able to like Brook Sabo get rid of his Lucky Roo, but like I was so literally physically unwell, so I just like conceded. It was bad, whatever. But how did we even? What were we even talking about originally? We were talking about
the first or second.
So like the 4s, you don't have to remove that turn, and you're just gonna be able to double remove the 5 and the 4 the following turn probably. Or a lot of the times what happens is you just play this on 3 and then you play this on 5 and then you remove what they play on 4, and now like you have this sideways and they don't have anything, and then like
they still can't get rid of it.
And then they still can't get rid of it, right? And then so like now they swing at you, they play like their 5-drop or whatever, and then now you're on 7 and you go, okay, cool, tap. Now your 5 is killed, and now this is my board state. Like, good luck. What are you gonna do? You're gonna Divine Departure this? All right, perfect. I got just the thing. GG handshake. GG handshake. Like, yeah. So it's like this deck is it's crazy, bro. Odd or even does not matter. Like all the pieces. it doesn't really matter. You don't have to play this on 2. You can play this on 3. You don't have to play this on 4. You can play this on 5. You don't have to play this on 3. You can play it on 4, or you can play it on 5. You can play it on 6. It doesn't matter. Like, these early pieces, and this is something that I really like about this deck, they're all so interchangeable. Like, you're always gonna find them. You're always gonna be able to play them kind of almost on any turn. Swear to God, you just have to find like what turn they work the best. Like, sometimes you don't even play this on 2, bro. You just play it on 6, because some decks, like, they might like Marco it, or they might do like whatever. Sometimes you just hold it for 6. Not really. If you have it on 2, you play it on 2, but you can play it on 6 a ton. Like, playing it on 6 came up so many times for me. A lot of times you play 1, you do your little 4-drop shenanigans, whatever, and then on 6, they're just dead, bro. They're just dead.
Got it. Cool. Yeah. So then, what is your ideal when you're mulliganing? What are we looking like? What's the key cards that you want to see every single time? Like, whenever it comes down to it.
Brook. I want Brook in my opening hand always. Brook is like the number one most important thing. Like, Rebecca is the most broken card in the deck. She is the best card in the deck, but she doesn't do anything until a little bit later, unless you've been really fortunate with mills. Whereas, like, Brook, because we have infinite cards to combo with the Brook is always gonna have things that it can remove. You can always just like play the Brook, and then, or you can play like the reducer and then the Brook. Like, the Brook is by far the most important thing to see at the early stages of the game, because you're always gonna find the other pieces that you need to combo with it.
Got it. And then early game, what are we, like, you kind of already went through it, but like, what's the early game setup that we're going for? Like, our early turns, what is the most ideal early turns for us, like, you know, Brook included?
Yeah, I mean, we just want like combinations of these cards, honestly, with the Laboon, wherever it is. A lot of the times you can even get into game states where like a lot of game states you can even get into where like you have like these, and then you go like wherever Rebecca is, then you go like Rebecca Brook, like you go like 2, 4, 6, and then like you remove, because like a lot of, like, if you're going second, like versus Shanks as an example, like on 3 they're gonna play like the little 3-drop whatever. Like, most of them aren't running the Zoro, they're running the Sanji, which you don't care about removing on 4. Like, it's gonna get one single 6 swing, and then you're gonna go swing 5, and they're gonna let it die, because you have 6 Dawn up. So even if they do protect, you're like, okay, swing 7, sure, you just gave me a card for no reason. And then like, so then on 5 they're gonna play like their rushers or whatever. So like, you do these, they go 3, or their 5-drop, whatever it is. They go 3, you don't even care about it, so you just set up more. And then on 5, they play their 5-drop, and then you're like, okay, cool. Now I just do this, and like you remove everything because you just swing over the little 3-drop. And that's the thing, like, decks aren't playing good 3-drops that you have to deal with, which allows you to do this. And once you do this, they have to remove them, but decks can't remove them. Like, you play versus Shanks, you play versus Bonnie, you play versus Smoker, you play versus, honestly, like the entire Zoro, you play versus like all the meta. We're not including Teach because you just concede to Teach. We're not really including the Mirror because the Mirror wasn't popular this week. This setup obviously doesn't work for Dofi, because Dofi is actually the one deck where you can't play the Kuzan because it just gets bounced. Like, and also you have to remove that 4-drop on their 3 Dawn turn. But like, almost the entire meta, like, you're just allowed to do this every time, and then your opponent is just very, very sad.
Love that. Yeah, I mean, you're selling me. I'm like, dang, that's actually really good. No,
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Do you have any shout outs? Anyone you want to?
Yeah, just everyone I shouted out before. Like, honestly, this was something I couldn't have done by myself. Like, I've said it plenty of times before. Like, I don't think I'm the best player in the world. I'm just a student of the game, and I have a lot of people who help me. And it was kind of crazy to switch with 72 hours to go, but like, when you are all about not having an ego, right? Like, a lot of people they could have been in my position, and like I have like a group of students, and I told all of them with like 2 weeks to go, I think Dofi is crazy. Like, there's arguments to be made that it's even in a better spot than it was in 09 because people aren't preparing for it, so they're not going to be ready for your lines. Also, a bunch of people are changing decks, so if you were already playing Dofi, you have a lot more familiarity with your deck than they do, so like there's a lot more ways that they can mess up than you will mess up because you're so much cleaner. I also think it's just like in the metagame, if Teach sees a lot of representation, I think it's really crazy. I think it eats a lot of things. So like 2 weeks ago, I was telling all my students, I think Dofi is crazy. And you guys know, I love Dofi. Like, I won on Dofi. Like, I would have loved to play Dofi again. But when you don't have that ego and you get presented new information, like I literally played this deck on accident, bro. I was just like, I need background footage. I'm not taking it seriously, but I'm presented with new information where I just do it for background footage, and I'm like, holy shit, this is insane. And being willing to swap last minute without that ego of like me assuming that I knew what I was talking about. I didn't know what I was talking about. I think Dofi's still really good, but like, this was for sure the pick for this weekend. I don't know if it's the pick for next weekend, but for this weekend, this was for sure the best deck in the room, in my opinion. Like, for sure the best deck in the room. This exact 50 was the best deck in the room, and no one else played this exact 50. Honestly, I think like if I was a better player, I'd probably just win. But this list was the nuts, genuinely.
Amazing. Well, yeah, and be sure he's on YouTube. I'm sure he's going to upload some content.
Yeah.
I hear about his experience here, so definitely be sure to go over there, check it out. OPTCG Grinder, and it should also be here tagged. But thank you, and congrats again. All right, and so this should be the full deck here, ratio by ratio for everyone. If you found this content of value, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Again, go show OPTCG Grinder some love on his channel, and definitely, let me know, should we have him back on, what should we do, and who else you would like to see. And I'll see y'all in the next one.